In today's Community Connection, Facing Your Fear, women sharing their compelling stories publicly for the very first time. One Valley nonprofit giving these women the courage and the stage to amplify their voices in a powerful documentary which had its screening in this very theater. I sat down with the founder and creator to learn more about this life-changing experience.
I have spent my entire life purposely trying to hide in the shadows.
Find your voice, find your power.
Most of these women have never shared these stories with anyone in their lives.
Amplify Voices founder Deb Shapiro provides a safe space for women to share their stories, their truth.
So the mission of Amplify Voices is to be able to discover, develop, and amplify the voices of those who have historically been silenced, misunderstood, or oppressed.
Shapiro's latest documentary, The Journey, gives voices to survivors of sex trafficking.
What had me start on this journey in giving voices to women who had been impacted by sex trafficking was actually a dear friend of mine. I knew her background. She had been abducted and trafficked as a young girl. And so I said, what if I were to teach you how to write a talk?
A talk that would transform lives.
50 years ago was when all of this had happened, but when I asked her this, her hands went up in the air and she said, I can't talk about that.
Deb has made it her life's work to help these women go from silence to sounding off.
I was being raped when I woke up.
Women like Amanda Schneider, who became a victim in 2017 while attending a work conference at a luxury resort in California.
I'd been around people all day and had half a glass of wine, so I decided to go sit at the bar and finish my glass of wine and just kind of have some downtime and quiet time before I went back to my room. And a number of minutes later, the world just went dark, and I woke up 6 hours later in a room being sexually assaulted.
San Diego detectives later confirming a group of guys, not co-workers, slipped something in Amanda's drink while playing shuffleboard.
Found the video footage. I went in for a rape kit, got the DNA. I refused to be a victim.
48 hours after the assault, Amanda finally found the courage to tell her husband.
I remember telling him, and probably the scariest thing that I've had to do in our marriage, because I didn't know how he was going to react. You could see the stages of emotion on his face, but ultimately he held and hugged me, and he's been my biggest supporter through all of this.
Amplify Voices believes understanding plus compassion equals power.
I wouldn't necessarily recommend this of anybody, but I chose to share my experience on social media because I was 40 years old. I had 3 little boys at home. I was at a luxury resort. This isn't supposed to happen. You know, date rape drugs are supposed to, I thought 20-year-olds out at clubs.
With the help of Amplify Voices, Amanda is sharing her story and has finally found her purpose, serving as executive director of the nonprofit.
The number of women that reached out to me afterwards was horrifying, but also there were these healing conversations. And so being able to go through the Amplify Voices program and share my experience and my lessons on stage was just extremely transformative and empowering.
We really hope that the documentary will open up doors for people who are not quite ready or thought that they weren't quite ready to be able to have a voice, and have them see that even in the most challenging of circumstances, it's not just having been sex trafficked or had a sexual assault, but every one of us goes through a challenging time in our life. And I believe that if we can discover the voice that's within these challenging times and be able to speak about them in a powerful way, it can absolutely make a difference for the world.
Amplify Voices will be holding another screening of their documentary, The Journey, in the coming weeks. Plus, later this year, they'll be giving a voice to women touched by breast cancer. You can donate or learn more about Amplify Voices, their speaker experience, by visiting amplifyvoices.org.